Yes, everyone, what's going on? My name is Stephen Howson. This is Full Time Devils, and this is a quick little transfer update that we're going to be talking about. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes is a big one on that, and I do have some info on that one as well. That's come direct from a place or two that you might be familiar with. We are going to be talking a little bit about what's happened with Nicky Butt and a couple of the outs that look like they're happening as well. Landed back in the UK last night after what an absolutely brilliant first three legs of the tour that was. There were the 3 games that we managed to see. Didn't sort visas out for China, so we didn't bother going to China because it would have meant being very risky and whether or not we actually made it to Australia, because did you know when you want to get a Chinese visa they take your passport off you until they give you one? So that was a bit dodgy, so we didn't bother doing that. But can I just say, it was absolutely wicked, and thank you to everybody that watches us in both Australia and in Singapore as well, because you made us feel way more welcome than we absolutely deserve. But let's get stuck into it with what's going on then with Bruno Fernandes. So the headline is Bruno Fernandes' bid is imminent. Where's that coming from? Well, that's coming, as usual, from the Portuguese press, because they love to hype up anything Manchester United related. And they keep saying the same sort of thing. They keep saying that Sporting are expecting a bid imminently. Sporting are expecting. But here's the difference. United aren't bidding. Now, it's my understanding that United are interested in Bruno Fernandes. But I think the exact word I was told is nowhere near as interested as the Portuguese press are making out. Now, the Portuguese press are making it out that we are trying to sign him every minute of every single day of every waking hour in the world. But it sounds like he is someone that we're interested in. But maybe there's other things that have to fall into place first. Now, one of those things might be Lukaku going. One of those things might have been Paul Pogba going. I don't know what the thing is that's going to trigger us becoming more interested in Bruno Fernandes. But the Portuguese press are the ones that are pushing this all the time. They're the ones that are coming out saying, this bid is happening imminently. This bid's happening here, there and everywhere. It does appear that United are doing one deal at a time. But I know that isn't the case. I know that they're trying to work on others as well, and I expect that there's probably going to be some sort of development with Harry Maguire. Again, my understanding on that one was that we wanted to go to a certain fee, and Leicester had gone completely bananas with that and asked for 90 million. I think there's probably at least one more signing happening. I do expect it to be Maguire. Fernandes, as good as he is, I just don't think that's going to be the player that we need, first and foremost. And I don't think that's the player that we're probably going to get either, to be honest. He's obviously been linked with Spurs, been linked with Liverpool. But, you know, their interest doesn't seem to be all that real either. It definitely feels like it's media-driven rather than club-driven more than anything else. And certainly Portuguese media. The MEN have got a line in one of their reports talking about Fernandes that says that United could be interested in Luka Modric. I mean, if United was going for a profile of a signing, Luka Modric is not that profile, is it? But if you wanted someone to come in, yeah, it'd be fantastic. He's a fantastic footballer. I just don't think that's going to happen, to be honest. I think that's the MEN being the MEN, isn't it? So Nicky Butt has been appointed as the head of first team development. Sounds a little bit similar to what Rennie Mullenstein's role was, which was as like an overseer of technical development of everybody in the club. Apparently the club are continuing the search for a technical director, but they're seeing Nicky Butt more involved with first team development. Remains to be seen what that role's actually going to look like and who replaces him in terms of what they're doing in the academy. And I know that there's a guy that's been touted as doing that, but I'm not sure that's official just yet. That's a guy called Nick Cox, and there's a whole hierarchy of other people that are in the mixer with that one. Nicky Butt has done a pretty good job on the surface of things, it looks like, in terms of the policies that have been put into place in the academy under his charge and some of the players that have been brought into the academy under his charge. Obviously, the guy is United through and through, won everything there was possible to win. The sort of way the guy played the game, honest, down-to-earth, hard-working, he's probably got a lot of real good characteristics as a person and how he played the game. I think he'll probably be really good in terms of what he's going to offer going forward. So I think that's a really interesting appointment. Whether or not it actually means that anyone like Woodward or not, whatever, relinquish any sort of control, I don't think so. because I think there's multiple facets to the scouting and recruitment process. But we'll see how it goes down. There's a lot of youngsters in the first team as it stands at the moment. Is Nicky Butt, as the former head of academy, helping pave the way for more to come through? Because I would love to see Dylan Levitt added to the list of those that we've obviously seen and seen do well on the tour. Nicky Butt has had a say on that, and he said, Manchester United is in my DNA. It's a very proud moment for me as I take on a new role. So interesting to see what the actual job role entails and what it actually delivers, but I'm sure we will see that in due course. Get your comments in as well, because I will be answering some of those in a second when I get the chance. Where's the comments gone? I've lost them. Let me find them. Here we go, got the comments. Some of the comments here saying Nicky Butt told me personally that he watches every Full-Time Devils video. Well, I don't know if you saw my vlog from Australia. There's one of them that starts with me, should we say, a little bit intoxicated, dancing, and it was a director of the club come up to me while I was on a tour and told me that he watched that video. And he said he loved it. So there are people at United who watch this. We know that. So on the outs then, Lukaku. Story doing the rounds in Italy that they might offer Ivan Perisic as part of the Lukaku deal. Jose was a big fan of him, obviously. And it sounds like he also wanted Maguire as well. I don't get this one, if I'm being completely honest with you. Perisic is now getting on in his years, and I don't know if he suits what Solskjaer's trying to create. The fact that United are willing to let Lukaku go, you would think Inter would want to keep hold of Perisic to partner him with Lukaku, someone who can put the ball into the box. If you look at how United have played in pre-season and a little bit of how immediately it switched from being a crossing team under Jose to almost no crosses going in under Ole. We're a team that's not looking to have those lofted Beckham-style crosses, certainly nowhere near Beckham, but you know what I mean? That sort of style of crossing into the box. That's not the team we are. We're a team that tries to work it into the box, and I think we're trying to create that sort of Manchester City pass back into the sort of danger zone and look for a past finish rather than someone that's going to bully their way to the front of a defence like Lukaku can and meet across. That's definitely not what we're trying to do, in my opinion. So somebody like Perisic, whose number one asset, doesn't make a lot of sense. I think that's why I see Delot's time, unfortunately, at United is going to be limited, because his major asset is a fantastic cross. And I think he was bought by a different manager to service a player that now might be getting moved on. So Perisic makes no sense. I like United's stance, especially over the way they was over Perisic. No, you want the guy, you're going to have to pay for the guy. This is Manchester United, and you're Inter Milan. And that's a player that scored like 40 in his last 40 goals internationals, regardless of what he's done at United. You need to pay some money for him. There's also a story on Fred going on loan to Galatasaray. It makes absolutely no sense for allowing another midfielder to leave when we've already lost Herrera, we've already lost Fellaini. I can't see why we would want to let Fred go. I think we're probably a bit thin in that area anyway. I don't get why we would let Fred go on loan unless the management have completely lost faith in the guy. And I would imagine him going on loan anywhere would be a precursor to him being sold somewhere. I just can't see that one. It's just, why bother loaning anyone? I mean, you've got to give the guy a bit more time than that, I reckon. If anyone would like to go out on loan, it'd make way more sense for us to loan out like Rojo, Jones, or potentially Sanchez, because no one's probably going to pay the fee and the wages that guy needs. But you might get someone to contribute to the wages or take some off the wages and take the guy on loan. Let's see what you guys are saying in the comments. Fernandes has to come in. The midfield is pants. It is, but he's also... He plays so far ahead of the midfield. Why did you just extend Juan Mata? Because he's probably going to play in that position. Can see Rooney coming back for the winter break. Ooh, not sure about that one. Karthik says, all right, Steve, is there anything to the Pepe stories? I haven't heard anything on Pepe. The same, I hadn't heard anything prior to like last week on Fernandes, and I hadn't heard anything on the only ones I had heard anything on was Maguire, and all the way back in March about Wan-Bissaka. Excuse me, sorry. I don't see any formation where both Bruno and Pogba can play together. Thank you, I agree. Prime Zlatan under Ole. Prime Zlatan under anyone. Prime Zlatan under David Moyes would have been dangerous. Prime Zlatan, like a 28-year-old Zlatan that was here for about 5 or 6 years, would have been absolutely wicked, wouldn't it? If Lukaku leaves, we should replace him. Should we replace him or give Greenwood more games? I think that we probably was looking at Bruno to replace Lukaku. Now, I know that doesn't make a lot of sense on the face of things, but I think that United are going in such a different style that because he plays off the striker, he doesn't really play deep line playmaker or anything like that. He really does play quite advanced for a midfielder. I think with who we've got with with Sanchez, with Rashford, with Marshall, with Greenwood, bringing in another striker, at least of that sort of level that's got to expect to play all the time. I'd love to see Ben Yedder, but I can't imagine that Ben Yedder, Rashford and Marshall are all going to get game time and someone's going to see their ass, if not two of them are going to see their ass. Then you've got someone like Greenwood, who's a special talent that does need games to develop. I don't expect he's getting 40 games this year, but he should get 15. I think 10, 15, something in that sort of range, because I think he'll score you goals. Bringing in another striker makes not a lot of sense, but if you brought in another midfielder, it gives you a lot more versatility, a lot more options, and I think that would be really good for us. We should buy Beckham for a right winger. We should sign Zlatan under years ago. Fergie never rated him though. Maybe. Replace Pogba with Bruno. Bruno's a floating 9. Savic, anything. I do like Savic, to be honest. I think he'd suit the Premier League really well, but I don't think there's anything in it just yet. Certainly with the money that they want to bring the guy in. Yep. I think we're going to call it a day there. My throat is going. So thank you guys for joining, and make sure to subscribe, and we'll be back for the next one tomorrow. Laters.